Hey, how you doing? So I'm going to thank you for subscribing. We are barely 800 away from 50,000 subscribers. And I have to say, I actually get chills every time I think about it because almost a year to this month, I kicked off this channel 3 years ago. However, I also want to celebrate Forbes Africa Woman, who celebrates their 4th anniversary this month with a dynamic but also very powerful issue. So on the cover of Forbes Africa Woman is Oprah Winfrey, and this is an exclusive conversation with her, with Forbes Africa Woman. But inside this issue is the conversation on money and Africans in the diaspora. You know, Africans in the diaspora, especially Kenyans in the diaspora, one day we're going to have a conversation about how you add and not add value. However, Forbes also speaks to Paula Kahumbu on saving the elephants, and a conversation I think some of us are running away from, and it is something as basic as women and the harassment in the workplace, all right? But actually, let's get into the issue. The cover story on Oprah Winfrey is actually about keeping a promise she made to Nelson Mandela, so you've got to read that. There is a gentleman who has been featured in this current issue of Forbes Africa Woman, and his name is Yoweri Museveni, and he says something that a lot of us don't like to talk about. The fact that actually governments are not profit-making entities, all right? That conversation kind of rubs people who don't get it the right way, and it's that whole thing that the Americans got wrong. Remember when they were all like, we need a person who run America like a business, and then they got Donald Trump. How are you liking that right now? Something else that I find very informative, very painful to look at is that the statistics show that by 2050, Africa might be a desert. There's a conversation we need to have about climate. You know, we seem to think that it's an American conversation, it's a European conversation. We need to talk about farming and our food needs, and that has been explored really well in this particular issue of Forbes Africa. Also in this particular issue is, you know, the right connections and women. There's a girl here from Guinea who apparently landed in New York with $100 to her name. So let's just say she went from $100 to her name to dressing Michelle Obama. You need to read her story. She's in Forbes Africa Woman this month. Also, the Mind's virtual reality. The person who has done this story has done all of us a great service. One of the things we don't talk about in Africa is mental health. Because the whole idea of depression or illness or bipolar is not only so misunderstood, but it has never been spoken about. And this is an enlightening conversation. For those of you who feel it's time to have the conversation, I see that there's a lady here who tells people that she works with mosquitoes and she actually gets paid for it, and people laugh. But do you know how important the malaria conversation still is for Africa? A lot of us don't like to highlight these numbers, but we still lose more people to malaria in this day and age than to HIV/AIDS. However, the funding towards HIV/AIDS is a lot more, and the noise around it is a lot bigger. We just need to figure out whether this is something we do want to talk about. The world's highest paid actresses in 2017 are in this current issue of Forbes Woman Africa. Please have a look. Let's just say they range from 26 million to 11.5 million US dollars. And then, of course, remember Me Too, the hashtag? Let's just say Forbes Africa Woman has decided to go into that conversation, and also the conversation of early child marriages. Story here about Fatima. She's 12. Her husband is 65. I said, a very sobering issue. It's one of those, it celebrates women, it talks about where we're going, what we're achieving, but also it talks about where we still have to grow and change. I also found an amazing piece here on the road to a green future in Uganda, a college project that led to Africa's first electric car. And I'm sure you're sitting there saying, Apana, Tesla. There is stuff out of Africa that sometimes we don't know about. And lucky for you and me, we actually grab either a copy of Forbes Africa or Forbes Africa Woman. And my final story is playing everyone. And this is a person who decides that, yes, we can be mime, we can be actresses, we can be actors, but what it is we do when we play individuals that actually call to our hearts is important. So there's a little bit of art as well. And over 80 hours at work, a week at work. So some of us women are working crazy hours, and you need to read about that. It's a perfect issue. I think you should get it. I would like to say congratulations to Forbes Woman Africa, and well done on getting Oprah as an exclusive for this particular month. Well done, and I think you should get it and read it. Oh, if you want a copy, I always have about 10 sitting in my office, so ask me for one, I'll make sure that it gets to you, all right? Great, thank you.